take your fears, your insecurities, your worries, you roll them all up into a ball, you turn those son bitches sideways and stick them straight up, then candy out!
Pick your goal and stick fucking to it. You wishy-washy motherfuckers. I can't fucking stand you.
I wanted to make sure that out of the 24 hours of the day, that I don't waste one single hour. Those hours were too precious. And so there I just want to tell people, don't give me this thing, I have a difficult time with the time and I don't have time for this and I don't have that. You have time. You make the time.
And now, welcome to the Be Informed, Live Fit podcast, sponsored by FitnessInformant.com.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome inside episode 37 of the Be Informed, Live Fit podcast. I am your host, Fitness Informant founder, CEO Ryan Bucki. A solo episode here this week as I make my way back from a long weekend in central Wisconsin, or I guess you could call it western Wisconsin, kind of unplugging and getting away from everything. So this is an effort here on Monday before the podcast launches at midnight tonight or on Tuesday to get out some content that I think will be interesting and intriguing for those of you who are maybe listening to the podcast for the first time or have listened for a while, maybe forgot a few things about me, about Fitness Informant, that as you see the title on this one, it's transparency. And anybody who has ever followed FI and followed myself knows how important it is for me to be transparent. In fact, it's one of our core values as a brand is honesty, integrity, transparency, and always do the right thing. So I want to basically use this platform this week to kind of just give an update on where things are at within FI, be a little bit transparent in terms of what we're doing moving forward, and then a little bit more transparent again on myself as well. So many of you tuned in to an episode that I did last summer, towards the end of the summer, about me going on TRT. So I want to talk about my TRT update on this podcast. I want to talk about the financial structure of FI and how we are able to make revenue and money, because people have called into question that before, and I have nothing to hide or hide behind. So I really want to use this platform today to kind of just help educate those who maybe are turning to Fitness Informant for the first time, or even those of you who are curious that maybe have never known, but have supported us for the longest time. And we're going on 2.5 years. It's been just absolutely wonderful, guys and girls listening to this. I mean, just to have this platform and to have the opportunity to be there for you and help you all achieve your goals. Really, that's why FI was created. It was always created with, the consumer as the North Star. That is what I strive to always do, is make sure that whatever decision that I'm making can help impact your lives in a positive way. And so I'm stoked about this episode. I'm stoked to talk about a couple different topics on like we just mentioned here in the open. But as you can tell, my voice is kind of coming back now. When you're in the middle of a cornfield in central Wisconsin, it's 103 degrees outside, and you're singing at the top of your lungs. Yes, I can sing, not well, but I attempt to. Your voice goes away a little bit. So it was, like I said, a great weekend, great to unplug, get away. I've tried to respond to most of the direct messages and Facebook messages that have come in since I got back, but I'm still recovering. Listen, full transparency, if you follow us on IG, you know I was at a place with just copious amounts of alcohol, and you can pick and choose whether or not you want to partake in that stuff. I partied. I had a good time with my friends. I do it maybe once or twice a year, and I lived it up. I enjoyed it. So I'm not here to hide behind and saying, like, who would I be if I came on here and just like told you all I don't ever drink? No, I barely do. I don't go to the bar Monday through Friday. I don't go to the bar on Saturdays and Sundays. But if we're doing a family get-together or getting together with friends or whatever it might be, yes, I'm going to have a beer or maybe 6 or more. It just depends on what the occasion is. So it's definitely something that I will do occasionally, but it's, to me, my health and fitness is still number one priority in my life, along with my family. And with FI, it's still putting my best foot forward for all of you. And I think for me to put my best foot forward for all of you, it is to be fully transparent. And if I sat here and said, no, I never touch a drop of alcohol in my life, that makes me a fucking liar, and I don't want to be that. So great time. Look forward to this. I've been doing this 12 years now, so yeah, it's something that I very much enjoy. This week's Pumped Up segment of the week is being brought to you by Built Fast Formula's award-winning VasoBlitz Pump Igniter. Not only is VasoBlitz the winner of our 2018 Shield of Excellence Supplement Awards for the best pump product, it is also the first nitrate formula fully disclosed with 30 servings, not scoops. When Vasal Blitz is consumed daily, even on your off days, it will last you a full month. All this for only $34.99. And as a special offer to our listening audience, use coupon code Informant to save 15% off. If you guys have not tried Vasal Blitz or even their pre-workout Full Blitz yet, I fully suggest that you go check it out. It's economical. It works great. It's one of my favorite pre-workouts, pump powders out on the market today. But I am pumped up about the 2019 Fitness Informant Transformation Challenge. As of this recording, it is already bigger than our 2018. In 2018, we had just over 400 entrants into this, and this is kind of when FI was still, sort of on the cusp of becoming something people were more aware of. And several hundred, like I said, over 400 people in that contest. We gave away $8,000 in sports nutritional products from some really good brands like Redcon One, NutriBio, MTS Nutrition, Spar Nutrition. They were all part of the 2018 Transformation Challenge. Well, now fast forward a year later, 2019, we've surpassed the $8,000 mark that we had in 2018. We will be over $10,000 in sports nutritional supplements and swag for this competition. So I'm stoked because we had such a good turnout last year. Now because we're about 6 times bigger than we were last year in terms of pure numbers, our participants and our signups should be through the roof, and gives people an opportunity to really push themselves to become the best versions of themselves. Now, details are going to come out via the Fitness Informant website, via our email platforms on how to enter. We're going to have the form up soon, and basically what you'll be doing is you'll be putting in your full name, email address, and then we ask you to do a before and after photo. So we're going to have guidelines on the landing pages that structure how you're supposed to take the pictures. And it's not hard to follow these guidelines. So if you're listening to this and you're excited to partake in our 2019 Transformation Challenge, just read the rules, follow the rules, because the last thing that I'm going to do this year, if it's busy, is going to have to reach out to people individually and say, listen, you didn't follow the rules with the pictures. Make sure you follow the rule with your before picture. You're going to be required to do an after picture. It's going to be 8 weeks long. You can choose to cut. You can choose to bulk. Here's what I know. It's going to start at the end of July. It's going to run through the Olympia. So the Friday of the Olympia, which I believe is September 12th, 13th, don't quote me on that. Look it up on the calendar, will be the last day of the Transformation Challenge. Then we'll have you all submit an after picture there within 3 days. Within 5 days, probably because of the weekend. And then what we'll do is we'll filter through the before and after pictures and we'll pretty much cut them down to finalists in each area. And then the sponsors of the program of the Transformation Challenge will help pick the actual winners, and then they'll be taking home a big prize package of sports nutritional supplements and more. So that is what I'm stoked about. I'm pumped up about that. It's going to be a very, very awesome time at FI. Again, we have a lot of fun with it. We support each other. Last year, the winners looked great, did phenomenal transformations, and we fully expect this year to have the same type of outcome and the same type of quality transformations from both the men and the women. And again, anybody can participate, including my staff. Everybody that's part of Fitness Informant who help contribute to Fitness Informant. So if you know about this, like we have had several females on the staff now. We have a girl by the name of Monique, another one by the name of Danny. They help out. We have obviously Gerhardt, who you guys have probably seen on some of the web platforms before. We also have Bradley down in North Carolina. So we're expanding the team, and the team is going to participate as well. It's going to, in this case, like I'm obviously participating too. I am going to schedule a photo shoot in Vegas to actually take professional pictures post-transformation challenge. So that'll require me to probably cut. I like the bulk during these. Last year I bulked, but I'll probably sit and I'll probably do the cut thing this year because that seems to be the typical thing for people to do. So I'm definitely stoked about our 2019 Transformation Challenge. Again, just keep checking the Fitness Informant website. Keep checking our social media pages, Instagram, Facebook, even here on the podcast for more of an update. That entrance form will be open for a couple weeks before we actually kick off the competition. So it's going to be, it'll be a good time. Again, we're on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. And so far, if you guys like what you're hearing here on the podcast, make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you can stay up to date with all the new Be Informed, Live Fit podcasts. Help us with the algorithm by writing us a review. And if it's 5 stars, that's great. If it's not, let us know why so we can make this show even better. Our Genius Moment of the Week is being brought to you by the Genius brand. The Genius brand offers high-quality supplements with scientifically proven, clinically dosed, all-natural ingredients. With a blatant disregard for profit margins, the Genius brand focuses on creating innovative, industry-leading wellness supplements to help you live an active, healthy, and long-lasting life. Supplements smarter today. Check out full reviews on the Genius brand at fitnessinformant.com. First off, kudos and congratulations out to Mark Post and Robert Oliver at the Genius brand. They got their brand picked up by Vitamin Shop. That's a big deal for them. They were just at Amazon once upon a time and their direct-to-consumer website. Vitamin Shop is a great get for the brand. I'm super excited for the Genius brand and the future of that brand and what they're going to accomplish. The genius moment of the week for me this week pertains to the consumer packaged good industry and basically the food that we eat. You still need to do your due diligence as a consumer, people. You can't believe everything that you're told or everything that you read on a box. And the reason I say this, in our self-made barbell brigade, a lot of times people will take a picture of what they're eating and post it in there, believing that what they're eating is actually good for them because they're convinced otherwise, when it's really not. So really read your labels, because at the end of the day, your labels don't lie. The FDA has strict guidelines for these consumer packaged goods to follow. Now, if you're a smaller company, you sometimes can get away with a little bit more in terms of claims, but you still have to follow labeling guidelines. So you can't name sugar something else. Like sugar is sugar unless you want to say like sucralose or aspartame or whatever. It's a form of sugar, but you understand what I'm trying to say. You can't call sugar a vegetable. Let's just say that, right? You can't sit there and say, if you have 20 grams of sugar in something, you can't call it a potato. You just can't. So read your labels. Again, this stems from the self-made barbell brigade, people posting stuff in there, and when the first ingredient comes up as sugar and your assumption is that's good for you, it's not. So do your due diligence, do your research, and start figuring out really what's good and what's not good for you. Because, like, for instance, off the top of my head, one of the things that people eat a lot of that they don't realize it's so unhealthy for you is white bread. White bread is one of the worst things that you can eat. It's refined sugars. It's like you buy a loaf of bread for 99 cents at your local grocery store. You're buying a 99-cent loaf of sugar, really is what you're doing. And those simple carbohydrates are going to build up in your system. It's going to cause an insulin spike. You can even get a crash from some of these foods, and it's going to cause you to store body fat. And so cutting things out like white bread is step one. Another thing that people that I want people to be aware of is just because it's diet or fat-free doesn't mean it's better for you. Everybody goes around drinking diet soda thinking it's better for you than your regular soda or pop or whatever you want to call it out there. Just because it's a diet Mountain Dew doesn't mean it's better for you than a Mountain Dew. Yeah, there's no calories per se, but it's still a soda. At the end of the day, it's still a soda. So keep that in mind, that when you are buying these things and using these things, that you're smart about it. This is the same thing I've said too about fitness influencers. If we say something's, fact check us. Don't just believe us because you're supposed to believe us. Yes, we were put in this position because we built up credibility one way, shape, or form. But my God, there are people out there that can take advantage of the credibility, and you can't have that. And we can't have that, not in this space, not what we're trying to accomplish here at FI. And I think that's a good segue into this conversation of transparency is, listen, I try to be as honest as I possibly can with all of you, but I can fuck up. I'm human. I can screw up. I can make bad decisions. I can answer the question with the wrong answer. That's what I'm going for, right? I'm not perfect. I'll never be perfect. But I want to make sure that I provide the best information and the best content possible for all of you, so that way you all can live better versions of your life. That's been the goal of FI. So as we transition into this next part of the show, we discuss more of a transparency side of things, and we discuss Fitness Informant revenue structure. We discuss FI, kind of the overlying goal, and we discuss me and my TRT use and my life in general. You guys get to know a little bit more about Fitness Informant. You get to learn a little bit more about Ryan Bucki, who's me. That's right, it's Buckeye, not Bucky, for FYI, for those of you out there who thought it was Bucky the entire time. But just get a chance to know us a little bit more here at Fitness Informant. So I appreciate you guys taking the time to be here. Subscribe to the podcast. Check out a lot of the cool old podcasts that we have with amazing guests like Ronnie Coleman, Jay Cutler, Branch Warren, Chris Gethin, Aaron Singerman, Mark Glazer, Mark Lobler. I can go on and on. But we'll be back right after.
The BAR, Breakfast at the Ready, is finally here. The world's first protein bar made with real cereal pieces from some of your favorite cereals and the best cereals of all time. This bar has 20 grams of protein, only 20 grams of carbohydrates, with 5 of them coming from sugar, and 4 grams of fat, 190 delicious calories that you can fit in at any time. Any person can take this bar, man, woman, child, whether you're working out, you're training to build muscle, or you just need a healthy snack throughout the day. The BAR is your solution. Go to redcon1.com and order the BAR Breakfast at the Ready right now.
With the amount of hard work that I put in, I need a reputable brand.
I absolutely love this stuff.
The energy is amazing. The pumps are ridiculous. The flavor is absolutely delicious.
I was blown away by the amount of energy, the muscle pump.
It keeps me going throughout the day.
Take your workouts to the next level.
The energy was so crazy for me.
Really gives me the boost I'm needing in the morning.
You will train harder. You will see better pumps. You will go longer in the gym.
The quality of the ingredients makes a difference.
Try Rise. You're going to love it. I guarantee it.
Their products are top of the range, and I'm very proud to be a part of Team Rice.
For the last 2 decades, we have been the best kept secret of the supplement industry. We've kept our heads down and worked. We pioneered full label transparency and full therapeutic doses because we believe that truly hard work requires truly effective tools. 2 decades is a long time to commit to one pursuit, but when you act with purpose and become centered in yourself, eventually you realize that you were born and bred for this. The things you once thought impossible, you now do every day. We don't like the easy way, it just doesn't feel right. We'll take the long, hard road over a shortcut any day. It takes longer, sure, but in the end, you know you earned it. And with the right team behind you, pushing yourself further than you've ever been would be just another afternoon doing what you love most.
I've spent most of my life chasing what's termed as unattainable. An obstacle in my path, I torment it. Any limitation trying to control my environment, I tame it. Any excuses, I transform into commitments. The haters, they're too small for me to even see. For 28 months before Cage Muscle even released, I broke myself against the world to identify, track, test, and trial the ultimate resources available in human existence to bring you something the world has never seen. Change is upon us. Don't justify your complacency. Evolve with me. Part animal, part machine. I'm Chris Gethin, and I am Cage Muscle.
So as we sit here and we discuss over this next, 30 minutes or so about transparency on Fitness Informant, on Ryan Bucki, I thought it'd be important to start this off like why I'm doing this. And I said since day one, whenever we started Fitness Informant, I said, I want to make sure that I'm open and honest. I want to be an open book. I want to rip the doors off. I want to pull the curtains back. I want people to see what it is that I do, because it's important for me that you all out there know who I am as a person, know who I am as a fitness influencer, know who I am as a brand. Because really at the end of the day, Fitness Informant is Ryan Bucki. Ryan Bucki is Fitness Informant. And that's not to discredit who I have helping me out. I love my team. Garrett Herman is an amazing, amazing person to have on my team. I'm so thankful to have him here. Brian Niebler is an amazing person. I'm so thankful he helps me out. Pat Harden, I'm thankful he helps me out with some of the stuff behind the scenes. Bradley Look, Danny Kramer, Monique Amsandi. Like, these are all people that I'm very, very thankful I have on this team helping us carry on the mission of FI, because we have bigger goals than I can accomplish by myself. But they wouldn't be part of the team if they didn't believe in what we're doing. And they wouldn't be part of this team if they didn't believe in transparency and integrity. If you follow any of them on social media, they open their doors too. Like, that's important to me. People need to know who is behind this mission. And I think the more that you all know about me and know about Fitness Informant and know about what we do and how our business works, I think it's just respect. It's a mutual respect thing. I respect everybody who's asked me a question. Now, there are people who ask me questions quite often. And I think people could get annoyed with that. Certain people could be very upset. Like, why is this person bothering me again? But that's never been the case with me. I might look at my phone and see I got a message from a certain somebody on Facebook, be like, it's him again. But he is trying to learn, and he's trying to be better. And who or what would I be if I decided that that person doesn't deserve a response? So if you've ever seen anything from me in terms of comments, I try to go through and respond to everything. Now, as we grow, it's becoming harder. I'll admit it. It's a lot more difficult to respond to every question, whether it be in our self-made barbell brigade group. But that's why it's important for us to open up these doors, open up these curtains, to explain to you what it is that we're doing, what we're achieving, and what we needed to keep doing moving forward. So let's first talk about, as we're here, let's talk about Fitness Informant, the business. This is probably the thing that irritates me the most is when exterior forces or people outside of my organization comment on how I run Fitness Informant, comment on how FI operates as a business. Because at the end of the day, Fitness Informant is a business. I created Fitness Informant always with the intention on this being my full-time career. I wanted to not work for the man. I wanted to work for myself. But I wanted to work for myself to help others achieve what they wanted to achieve. So how do I make money? But how do I stay honest? How do I stay transparent? Well, here's how. I'll tell you how I do it. Now, on other podcasts you'll probably listen to before, you may have heard how we generate revenue here at FI. How do I make money or income to support myself, support my family, support my goals, support this business? Because at the end of the day, I have to reinvest much of this money that I make on Fitness Informant back into FI, or FI is not going to grow. And if FI does not grow, the mission does not become successful. So we generate revenue two different ways. The first way is through product links. Okay, so if you go to fitnessinformant.com and you check out our rankings pages or you watch or read a review, we generally attach a link to that review or a coupon code. If you use that link or you use that coupon code, we get a small, and I'm saying small because it's a small commission back from that purchasing platform. So we may get 10% back from a purchase. So if you spend $100 on supplements, FI may make $10 off of that. That's what they call an affiliate link, okay? So that is how we are generating one portion of our revenue. Now, I'll tell you that I don't make a lot of money off that. FI does not make a lot of money off of that, but I'll tell you that my commission structure across all platforms is exactly the same. I don't have any products making more of a commission than others, like some websites on the internet do. So some websites will place in a ranking guide, for instance, their number one ranked product will be a product that pays that website a 50% commission. I see it all the time. We don't have that. We have straight commission for anybody we work with. And there are some people that we don't even make commission off of, and they're still in the ranking guides. I've been accused so many times from people saying, well, you have bias because you're making commissions off these products. No. I put the products in which I believe they should be ranked. And why do I do that? Because if somebody comes to fitnessinformant.com and they buy a number one rated pre-workout and they're disappointed with it, they're not going to buy it again. So I made a one-time commission off something that they're not going to buy again, and they may not come back to fitnessinformant.com for more information or more education. But if I'm honest about my number one, if I truly put at the number one ranking spot what I think is number one ranked at that particular category, chances are if somebody purchases that, I'll make a commission one time, but they're going to love it. And they're going to come back and they're going to purchase it again and again. So why would I jeopardize my ranking system if it's not going to provide long-term value to Fitness Informant? This is not a short-term cash game with Fitness Informant. It's a long, slow play. So if you come to Fitness Informant and you look at our product rankings, they are based on real product testing. I test these. Gerhardt tests these. Bradley tests these. Danny tests these. Monique tests these. We try them out. We do our research on the ingredients, and we put those first. We put the most effective, value-driven products, number one, before we put anything else, number one. So sometimes people are like, well, you're pushing certain product because you make a commission. There's a lot of bad reviews on fitnessinformant.com, and we also still make commission on those. You know why? Because they buy at Amazon. We put the option there to purchase. Listen, you don't have to buy anything we talk about. If the product gets ranked at a 1.7, we're still putting a purchase link on that. Why? Because some people might not give a shit about the 1.7. Some people might still want to buy that product. And if we can generate a small little portion of revenue that help put back into this business and grow this business, or to help pay my staff, I'm going to do that. Because people need to make money in this world, right? But you can do it by not being greedy, and you can do it by being honest and having integrity, being transparent, and most importantly, you can do it by always doing the right thing. And always doing the right thing is letting people out there know who's listening to this podcast, here's how I operate. So if you want to question what we do here, you want to question our Center for Bias, my God, you can, but here's the God honest truth. Here's the truth. I have nothing to hide. So then reason or revenue generation, number two, how else do we make money? We offer advertising on fitnessinformant.com. I spent 2 years building up a website, building up a podcast to get traffic. When that traffic reached a certain level, it only made sense for the future of Fitness Informant, for the future of this business, to offer advertising to people within sports nutrition. Think about this, people. Magazines are dead. That's where these sports nutrition companies would spend most of their money, on magazine ads. They pay $5 to $10 grand for a static image in the center of muscle and fitness, where you couldn't track how effective that advertisement was. So these brands are just tossing out thousands of dollars in magazines because the circulation rate happened to be high, but they didn't know if people were purchasing or converting for it. We live in a digital era. We can track everything. If a brand puts a banner ad on my website, I can track if somebody clicks it. I can then track if somebody purchases something from that click. We can give instant gratification back to the brand that our platform is working. Now, Fitness Informant is one of the most, I guess, popular brands on the internet now when it comes to sports nutrition. We're a trusted source of information. I'll also tell you that I don't let anybody advertise on my platforms that I don't agree with. If I feel like Advocare, for instance, an MLM company, if Advocare comes to me and says, Ryan, I'll give you $15,000 for a month worth of ads, I will say, Advocare, thank you for the offer, but no thank you. Because I don't want people coming to FI seeing something that I don't believe in. I align myself with brands, strategic partners as we call them, who have very similar values, who care about the consumer. So if you see a commercial here on a podcast, or you hear it through your earbuds, or you go to fitnessinformant.com and you see a banner ad on the side, these are all brands in which I can actually appreciate what they're doing in terms of product innovation, putting the consumer first, creating products that aren't, below or mediocre. That's important to me. I want my platform to be, I've always said this, I want Fitness Informant platforms, because we have multi of them, to be like the Whole Foods of grocery shopping. Like when you walk into Whole Foods as a consumer, you just feel that whatever you buy in there is good, because Whole Foods kind of vets out that whole entire process for you. Well, that's what we do at FI. We vet out the process for you. Everything that you see in terms of any sort of advertisement is a brand or a product that I can get behind. That's where we're making most of our money, is through the advertising platform. Now, does that make anything biased? Here's the key, because most people will say it will. Redcon One, you'll see here on the podcast or listen to the podcast, is a sponsor of Fitness Informant. I'm friends with Aaron Singerman, their CEO. I know his wife. I've met his wife. She's a great person. But Aaron also knows that it's not going to change the way that I view and look at Redcon One's products. So as we look at product rankings, and you go over to fitnessinformant.com, there's a lot of our strategic partners who don't have a product in the top 5. That's not to mean that they're bad. I mean they could be a half a point out. Half a point out. But we don't just put our strategic partners number 1. That's not right. And if you've listened to any podcast before, if any of my strategic partners called or texted or emailed and said, Ryan, we need to be at least this, I'll say, well, then you need to reformulate so you can get me to at least this. Because what you're currently supplying in the market is this, according to Fitness Informant's personal testing. So does let's say the investment from advertisers change the way that we look at products? No, it does not. Not at all. Products are standalone. In our advertising contracts with these companies that I put out, it specifically states that reviews will not be altered based upon a strategic partnership. And they should be okay with that, because why should they be okay with that? Because they partner with FI because they like what we stand for. So they have values very similar to ours. They don't want to jeopardize what we stand for. And if they do, I've said this before, if they ever try to call into question what I do and try to jeopardize or try to push me into a bad spot, I will just tell them to leave. I will rip up the contract in front of them. Because I don't need to align myself. I don't need to align my staff. I don't need to align this brand that I worked so hard to build with somebody or something that's going to call that into question with what they want me to do. You partner with FI, you do so knowingly that we're still going to uphold integrity, honesty, transparency, and always do the right thing. So if one of your products happens to get a mediocre or just around average review, live with it. That's what it is for a product. It's an average product. A lot of brands make some stuff that's really good, and there might always be one in the crowd that's, mediocre, average at best. That's okay. You don't have to make the number one SKU in everything that you do. You'd like to, but that gets expensive. And you understand that that's a niche consumer you're trying to meet. You'll see that once in a while we work with Cellucor, okay? Cellucor, very large brand. I'm not a fan of C4, their pre-workout, okay? Their pre-workout that you find in Costco, in my opinion, is underdosed. But if they come out with something that I can get behind for the consumer, if they come out with something that's unique and different, like their C4 RTDs, their energy drinks that they come out with, or their pre-workouts, those aren't bad. I can get behind that. Because you look at the other energy drinks out there, like Bang, they're not a pre-workout. It's just an energy drink. So I can get behind certain things on brands, but that doesn't mean I'm going to be biased. It means that I actually found something that I think is worth talking about. And those of you who know me know that I'm a very authentic, honest person. Like, I speak about things highly when I do, is because I actually put our goals that we're trying to accomplish. So through affiliate links and advertising revenue is really what turns my lights on here. Is how I have this office. That does not mean I don't have to work for it. My God, I work harder and longer now than I ever have in my life. But I love it. I love this stuff. I love working with my partners. I love working with product reviews and products in general. But again, it's not easy. So people will look on the outside and be like, Ryan just got another shipment of supplements. Must be nice. It's not. It's not as nice as you think sometimes. It's actually a lot of work. Because what we have to do here at FI, because of what we're trying to do and accomplish, is we have to run that product for the full duration before we write the review. The reviews they're not like the quickest thing to do, right? So a brand wants to send me a pre-workout. It might cost that brand like $13 for that pre-workout. I guarantee they're getting a lot more than $13, a lot more than $13 worth of work from me. And that's not even minimum wage in some states. And some of these reviews definitely take me over an hour to do. When I have to write, film, edit, it's a lot of work. So we have to make sure that we're able to pay the bills. The website, there's storage for that. I have to pay for that. Facebook advertising, I have to pay for that. An email program, I have to pay for that. My LLC, when I trademarked Fitness Informant, those all had to be paid for. And most importantly, I have to take care of my family myself. So I should be able to make money. I should be able to make an income doing what I love to do because I worked so hard to build this up. So I'll never apologize for making money at Fitness Informant. And I don't think any of you listening to this podcast expect me to or want me to. Because those of you who have supported Fitness Informant for the longest time all appreciate what I do, what we do as a brand, and you're okay with how we make money, as you should be. It's not wrong, it's not dirty, it's not different. I've had retailers before, people who turn to me to figure out what they potentially should carry into their stores. But I've had them come up before saying, well, you're a review site, so you're biased. First off, I'm way more than a review site. I've written 9 programs for download over at fitnessinformant.com, workout routines. I offer a custom free macronutrient calculator at Fitness Informant. Plenty of articles on fitness-related concepts. I don't charge for them. Never will. We're all about being a well-rounded platform with recipes, a platform with a podcast, a platform with a YouTube channel. If you want to be on the outside looking in and you want to comment on how you think I'm biased or how I run my business, then shame on you. Especially when it's coming from another small business. To me, that's always shocking. It's like, we're both small businesses. Let's help support each other. It's not always the case. But the vast majority of people in this business that I work with respect the hell out of me, respect the hell out of Fitness Informant. There are a lot of brands out there that we currently do not work with that we will in the future. It's going to make us even bigger as a brand. But my goal is not just build FI up to be this cute little brand. I want to build FI up to be this massive brand that's actually going to help impact the lives of so many people around the planet, not just the United States. People around the planet need to be making better decisions. That every decision made on all things pertaining to your fitness, nutrition, and supplementation come from an informed point of view. That's our value statement, people. And to receive an informed point of view, you have to be receiving accurate information. And one thing that I refuse to do is I refuse to keep lying about stuff. I refuse to even lie in the first place. But I refuse to go along with a lie because that's not going to help anybody on the other end of this podcast. That's not going to help anybody on the other end of the phone. That's not going to help anybody accomplish what they're trying to do. And that, my friends, is live a healthier version of their life through fitness and nutrition. So I hope it's crystal clear. Like, we make money via YouTube as well for advertisements that overlay on our YouTube videos. Not much, but we do. But that's really it. And the reason why we're able to make money this way is because we've been honest, we have integrity, we're transparent, and we always do the right thing. Brands want to align with a brand like that. And because there are no magazines anymore, they still want to get their advertising out there. They still want their brand out there. They come to Ryan. I look at the brand and I say, yep, looks like our values align. I get behind your product set. I think you do some or a lot of things well. And if there's things that they can work on, you know what I do? They might not ask me, but I'm going to have a conversation with them. Like, listen, I love product A, B, and C, but I think D might be lacking here based on either new research or based on a new product that was just launched. I take the friendship out of it when I look at product reviews, people. I've made people mad. I've lost friends because of it. But at the end of the day, they knew who I was and what I stood for. So if you're going to try to take advantage of that, that's not a good thing on your end point either, right? Like, you don't want to take advantage of me as somebody who cares and is passionate about making sure that the consumer is getting all the right information as possible. So for me, it's very important that you all out there listening to this podcast understand that's really how we generate revenue, but also understand that revenue does not impact on bias. Now, I know there'll be people out there listening thinking, oh, yes, it does. Money makes most people biased. Sure, it does. But I'm not most people. My God, am I not most people? I am different, and I appreciate being different, and I appreciate everybody out there who supported us since day one, because our Facebook page is nearing 15,000. We have nearly 5,000 likes on Instagram. Our website gets anywhere from 17 to 20,000 unique visitors a month, and spending time on the site. We have good things, and we're doing good things, and I will stand by the things that we're doing, because I will never allow my character or this brand to be called into question for something that we wouldn't do. And I don't know how many people listening to this podcast have ever said to themselves before about us at FI, or myself maybe, said, well, I think because of so-and-so, they're biased. It kind of hurts our feelings because we work so hard to create this brand to be bias-free. So, you know, if you watch some of our reviews, it's 100% no bullshit. It's 100% honest review. We want that tradition to continue, and it will, because I refuse myself or my staff or anybody else associated with Fitness Informant to be tampered with by greed. Don't need it. Don't need it at all. We're going to take a second, quick little break here and hear from some of the sponsors, actually. So I urge you to check those out because they're pretty cool. Come back, and I'm going to fill you in on a little update on Ryan's TRT from back in September of 2018, because a lot of people have been asking me about my updated blood work, how I'm doing, how I'm feeling. So I have an update on being on testosterone replacement therapy since last summer, right after this.
So this is it. The new flavor is in production as we speak. We've been hyped about this for months, and the time is finally here. So let's go check it out. In here. This is it. Galaxy Burst. This flavor has a burst of candy with a hint of tart, leaving your taste buds begging for more. It's fruity and creamy, yet sweet and tangy. After months of testing and formulation, this galactic flavor is sure to take over the galaxy. Now let's give it a try. So good.
Hey, what are you doing?
Oh, time to go.
Texas.
You may actually think you're holding a grapefruit.
I think we need a shark. Apparel and merch.
We would have given them ghosts if they asked.
Hughes, you're crumbling out there.
Over the head, under the head. Where's Ghost Greens at? A lot of big stuff happening in July, a lot of big stuff happening in August.
Hold it!
Just in case you don't know, we're the kids who own this skyline. I guess you should've known better than to.
All right, guys, we come back in here talking about transparency, integrity, honesty, and always doing the right thing. First part here, we talked about FI's business structure and how it makes money. And some of you listening to this podcast may have heard that before, or maybe always wondered, and now you know. Now you know. So anytime anybody calls into question what we do here at FI, I'm just going to refer them to this podcast and say, listen up, do this. Let's talk about steroids. This is a fun topic because it's become way more prevalent in my life in 2019 than it ever has. As I opened the show, I was telling you guys this last weekend I went back over to Wisconsin to a country music festival. Now, when you think country music festival in Wisconsin, your thoughts are probably damn near accurate, okay? There are trucks driving around with American flags. They're jacked up. They have lift kits. Kenny Chesney, Luke Bryan blazing out the radio speakers. There are people in a circle playing beer darts, me included. There are people who are chain smoking. There are people who are chewing tins and tins of tobacco. There is a lot of redneckish going on at these country music festivals. But I love that kind of stuff. It's a simple life for me. But simple life also means simple-minded. And there were plenty of comments made about me from people that were there. Now, it's no surprise. It's warm out, so I'm walking around shirtless or in a cutoff tank or something along those lines. And people recognize my physical appearance. So you get the compliments from people like, this dude is huge, this guy is massive, and some kids who are younger than you always try to shake your hand. It's like, okay, yeah, I can definitely, I can absolutely give you a high five. I can absolutely shake your hand. I can take a picture of you, whatever. But then on the flip side of that, you get the people who have too much of drinking and become lippy. So, things like steroid monkey, for instance, was something I got called. Another kid who's a football player here at one of the local universities just kept going off about how I'm on steroids and how I'm a fake. And all I want to say to this dude is like, yeah, man, I'm a fake. I'm on steroids. But if you had known the reason why I'm on them and why I have to medically be on them from a doctor and how fucking miserable I was before I went on them, maybe you'd shut your mouth. But it's inevitable. This kind of stuff's always going to happen to me. It's always going to happen to others out there. And why? Well, because for the first time in my life, I've had natural testosterone levels, which has allowed my muscles to grow. I'm not taking an anabolic amount of testosterone sipe every week to put me into growth mode. I take enough every week, 200 milligrams, to put myself in the maintenance mode. Because Jesus, if you listen to the Steroids Saved My Life episode that came out, several months ago, I explained just how miserable I was. Laying on the couch at 6 o'clock, falling asleep, knowing I have a kid coming up. I need to wake my ass up. I need to actually take on the day, and I need to actually take responsibility. And if I was going to have low T, which I did because I was in the 90s, I would be in a lot of trouble. So is Ryan Bucki on AES? Anabolic exogenous steroids. The answer is yes. I am on steroids. Legally, from a medical practitioner who writes me a script every month to be refilled. I have testosterone in my house right now, but it has changed my life. It has made me feel more alive, feel like a better person. I actually have energy levels to do things. I feel stronger because I'm actually performing at the level I should have been performing at for the last 35 years. Is when people just assume that all my success comes from taking steroids. And I'm as big as I am because of steroids. Yes, I put on size, like I mentioned, because my test levels are up to where they're supposed to be. So you're naturally going to become more anabolic as a person. You're actually going to be able to recover better. You're actually going to be able to put on muscle mass. Yes, that is an added benefit of being on TRT, but let me tell you, I didn't go on TRT because I wanted to be huge. I got on TRT because I wanted to feel like a fucking real person. And anybody who tells you they had low testosterone levels or they've struggled with testosterone levels or their endocrine system in general, whenever you get that straightened out, whether it's HRT, TRT, whatever it is, you feel so much different. And that's a good thing. I can be here for my kid. I can be here for my wife. I can be here and be happy and not be fucking miserable, right? So I went and got my blood work back. Everything is awesome. You know, everything is awesome. My blood work, guys, was in the 90s. The 90s. I had the testosterone levels of a 14-year-old girl. But because of my work ethic and how hard I worked, I was still able to become lean and my body still worked that way. But now my testosterone levels came back last week and my blood work at 1,600. Okay, 1,600. Now that some people are probably thinking, my God, that is super, super high. Well, it's higher than the normal level for an extent, right? Normal levels of testosterone are anywhere from 500 to 1,200 typically is what they do. Okay, and so I'm just over that threshold. Now, why am I just over that threshold? Well, keep in mind that when I gave blood the same day I had to take a testosterone level shot. So my testosterone levels are going to be higher that day. So at 1,600, some people might think, my God, he's way over. No. You know, at 1,200 or some, other websites will, like I looked it up here, 270 to 1070. My God, if your test levels are 270, you're going to feel like shit. So that is, for me, if you look at somebody like Mark Loeblein or anybody else who's put on TRT, like to be at those levels, you feel so much better. But a byproduct of that is you're going to put some muscle mass on. Am I mad about it? No, I'm not mad about it. But what I'm extremely happy about is that I feel fucking normal. I feel good. Everything else in my blood panel came back amazing. Free and total test, good. My cholesterol levels are getting good. Everything that you could get tested in the blood panel test that you're supposed to get tested came back good. And I feel good. And I'm able to do things that, I struggled with prior to that. And that was, playing past 6 o'clock or staying up past 6 o'clock. I was falling asleep on the couch. And I told you guys that. I'm just a happier person all around. And it's all because I was able to get help. And to get help, you need to take that step. You need to ask for it. You need to go in and see somebody. I knew something was wrong. So I went and I saw somebody. I got it taken care of. But also, as part of that integrity and honesty that I was telling you guys and girls about, I won't review a testosterone booster over at Fitness Informant. I just won't do it. I've had plenty of brands come out to me and said, Ryan, I want to send you this new test booster. Will you do it? And I said, well, I can't. I'm on TRT. I can't review fairly a testosterone booster when I'm on exogenous testosterone because it's prescribed me from an MD. So that's why I uphold my integrity. Not only do I tell you all I'm on TRT, not only do I tell you all my blood work results, I also tell you I'm not going to ever do a review on a testosterone booster or a muscle builder. It doesn't make sense. That doesn't align with what we're doing here at FI. And trust me, I get offered all the time to do testosterone boosters because test boosters are actually one of the best selling products through platforms like ours. I can make money off of a test booster at FI because muscle builders in general get way more traffic and it's just, it's a lucrative business you possibly could be in, but you don't find a lot of muscle builders at FI. Why? Because I won't review them. I would much rather skip them because I'm not going to have my integrity called into question. I don't need that money. I'll be fine without it. But I bet you guys and girls didn't know that. People ask all the time, what testosterone booster should I take? I say, get your fucking blood levels checked first. Because I know what it's like to have low T. If you literally have low T and you need help, then get help. That's the most important thing because you have other people out there in your life probably relying on you for something. So be there for them. Support them. And support them by doing what they want you to do, and that's to be all in. So that means getting your blood panels checked and getting your test levels taken care of, then take care of them. There's nothing to be ashamed about. I don't care. I mean, people want to accuse me of taking steroids. I've said this. Yes, the answer is yes. I take steroids. And they've changed my life, and they've made things so much better. But again, at the end of the day, to essentially give all credit to my TRT for my physique and body and success is bullshit. If you want to accuse me of being on steroids, that's fine, sure. But if you want to say I'm only the way I am because I'm on steroids, that's the furthest thing from the truth. Because if you go back and look at any picture of me prior to being on TRT, I was still a fairly big dude. And I fully admit, I got bigger when going on TRT. Everybody does. You can call me a cheater if you want. I don't care. If you at all felt what I felt before going on TRT, you would understand how happy I am to admit, to get up on a pedestal and admit that I am on testosterone replacement therapy. And my friends are cool about it. My family is amazing about it. People are happy for me because I got better. So the update is things are better, much better. My levels are good. I'm very happy with the way things turned out. I'm very happy with the care that I'm receiving from my doctor. I'm very happy with the way life has turned out for me. Now, if I want to have another kid, because I have a baby girl, I'll have to come off of it. So I'm nervous to that extent because I don't know how I'm going to feel. During that time, when we try to conceive a child, if we do, the time when I'm off it, how am I going to feel? So that concerns me a bit, but you also make sacrifices. So if I have to come off for a little bit to grow the family, I do that because it's supposed to be lifelong. And if it is, and if I can feel good about myself, then I'm okay with that. So the big moral of this podcast is just I want people to walk away from this knowing who we are as a brand, what we stand for, who I am as a person, because that's super important to me as well. I've been nothing but grateful for the support that you all show me. Nearly 15,000 likes over at Facebook, 5,000 followers on Instagram, almost 20,000 views at the website each month, and growing. Thank you. And I fully believe that me being transparent, and me being a fucking human being and being normal helps the cause. It helps you all want to get behind it because you feel like you're potentially getting behind maybe a friend. And I try to be a friend, a digital friend to people who I can. And I try to help respond. I try to be here for anybody I possibly can be here for. If someone needs my help or my advice, I'm not going to say no. I'm going to try to figure out the best way to deliver that advice and the best way to deliver that help to that person. Because that's important to me. So I'm going to wrap this up by saying thank you. This is who we are. This is what we stand for. Our vision is bold, that every decision in the world made on all things fitness and nutrition and supplementation comes from an informed point of view. Our mission is attached to that, to help inform everybody in the world on all things fitness, nutrition, and supplementation. And our values are amazing. Honesty, integrity, transparency, and always do the right thing. Do us a favor, subscribe to the podcast by clicking on the red subscribe mob button if you're watching on YouTube, or if you're on iTunes, hit the subscribe button. Spotify, same thing. Make sure you go and follow us on our social media channels. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. You guys and girls are amazing. We hope you have a phenomenal 4th of July if you're here in the States. It's a great holiday. Enjoy it. We'll be back next week with a brand new episode. Looking forward to it. Be informed, live fit, and hang